Some may believe that Terence Crawford has a fair chance of equaling, if not surpassing, Floyd Mayweather's record, judging by the way he cruised to victory against Spence and became undisputed in 2 different weight classes. But before we get into all that, let's recap the magnitude of the welterweight battle for undisputed. Terence "Bud" Crawford and Errol "The True" Spence Jr., 2 of boxing's most formidable talents, faced off in an electrifying showdown that captured the attention of the entire boxing world. This iconic fight for all the 147-pound belts involved 2 undefeated fighters at the top of the mountain, and everyone has been eagerly waiting for this bout for 6 years. Their contrasting styles meshed flawlessly, creating a stage for a thrilling showdown filled with both technical brilliance and all-out aggression. Errol Spence Jr. vs. Terence Crawford felt extraordinary for many reasons. While observers and odd makers may have had all their inclinations, predicting the outcome with confidence was very doubtful. This was a challenging fight to call, as both fighters displayed equally impressive boxing skills. But Crawford was unlike any fighter in the lead up to the bout. While fighters often predict victory, Crawford's demeanor and body language exuded an unshakable certainty about the outcome. Unlike Spence, who was confident and took personal steps for the fight, Crawford appeared stoic and focused, like an unwavering assassin. And on the night of the fight, he proved that his attitude just wasn't a facade. In the biggest fight of his career, Bud delivered a performance for the ages. It was brutal, brilliant, and historic. Crawford tends to feel his way into fights, so it wasn't surprising that Spence, with his excellent fundamentals and high work rate, took control from the beginning. He tried to walk Bud down, but Spence narrowly won the first round based on his activity alone, but kept the pressure on in round 2, pushing Crawford back and targeting his head and body. Crawford found some success countering Spence's attack, and in a quick moment, he changed everything. In the second round, as Spence lunged into a jab to the body, Crawford responded with a grazing left hand, followed by a powerful right that knocked Spence down. The bell signaled the end of the round, giving Spence a moment to regroup. In round 3, Spence returned with renewed determination, trying to regain control. However, every time Crawford landed a punch, Spence felt its impact. Crawford's moves were calculated, precise, vicious. And by the end of the 4th round, Spence was wobbling again. Despite working hard, he couldn't make much progress against Crawford. Each counterattack from Crawford seemed to chip away at his opponent's confidence. By the halfway point, the fight was heavily in Crawford's favor, and by the end of the 7th round, it was practically decided. Spence went down twice more, first from a beautiful counter right uppercut and then a vicious right hook just before the bell. At this stage, Spence was relying solely on his determination and courage to stay in the fight. In the 9th round, another fierce series of punches had Spence on the edge once more, and referee Harvey Dock intervened to save him. A short distance away, Crawford celebrated by leaping onto the ropes, marking his place at the pinnacle of this sport. Over 9 rounds at T-Mobile Arena, Crawford handed Errol Spence an absolute beatdown. This win crowned Crawford as the undisputed welterweight champion and makes him the first male fighter of the 4-belt era to clean up 2 divisions, having already won it all at 140 pounds. But even more than that, this win might have solidified his status as the greatest fighter in the world. This victory should push Crawford to the superstardom his skills have always deserved. But now, where does he go from here? It took 15 years, but Crawford is now in that sweet spot where his skill will meet opportunity. Spence has the right to a rematch, and he said after the fight he intends to exercise it, preferably at 154 pounds. Crawford said he had no problem doing a second fight at junior middleweight, which means in addition to this rematch with Spence, Crawford may also face other top contenders in this division like Jermell Charlo. After one of the 3 knockdowns against Spence, Crawford rushed to the neutral corner and began a war of words with Charlo. So there is high potential for a matchup between these two. Charlo, the undisputed 154-pound champion, will climb up in weight next month to take on Canelo Alvarez. This also presents Crawford with a chance to become an undisputed title holder in a 3rd weight class, an unprecedented accomplishment in the 4-belt era. Another potential matchup for Crawford is Jaron "Boots" Ennis. Ennis is the mandatory challenger for Crawford's IBF welterweight title, and if Crawford decides to keep the title after his probable rematch with Errol Spence in December at 154 pounds, he will have to face the undefeated Boots Ennis. A matchup like this will give Crawford the chance to shut down yet another solid fighter, only adding to his legacy. As Crawford continues his journey in boxing, the question of whether he will surpass Floyd Mayweather's record remains a topic of intrigue. Floyd Mayweather retired from professional boxing with a perfect 50-0 record, solidifying his place forever in conversations about the greatest of all time. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford extended his perfect record to 40-0 with his victory over Errol Spence Jr. If Crawford continues to compete for the next few years, the 35-year-old would need 11 more wins to surpass Mayweather's record. Will this feat be achieved by the unstoppable Crawford? Drop a comment below and let us know. Terence Crawford declared himself the #1 pound-for-pound boxer in the world after the destruction of Errol Spence, unifying all 4 welterweight titles and becoming the division's first undisputed champion in over 37 years. Throughout the week, the notion of the Terence Bud Crawford era was reinforced and has now arrived. Already a champion in 2 different weight classes, Crawford's exceptional skills and accomplishments make him one of the most complete fighters globally. He is a generational talent, the face of American boxing, and now an all-time great. It's solidified, it's cemented. His reign should be relished, regardless of how long it endures and whatever leads him next.